This episode of The Talking Dead is brought to you by Audible.com. And the reason we do this is so you can get something for free. I'm trying to generate some money, some income, so I can update some software. And the best way for us to do this is not for me to go, hey, can you give us a donation? Can you give us money? I don't ever really want to do that. So we actually
will accept. No.
So what we are doing is having Audible sponsor us. And the way it works is if you just go to audibletrial.com/TTD, you can sign up for a 30-day free trial of Audible, and you get a free audiobook download. So you get free 30-day trials, you get a free download, and you help us grow the show. It's that easy. It doesn't cost you anything. So please take a moment during the show at some time to go to audibletrial.com/TTD. Thanks.
I recognize that manly profile.
Not yet. You can't say a thing.
I'm not going to say a thing.
It is April 14th, 2012, and this is The Talking Dead. With us tonight, we have a very, very, very special show. Of course, we have Bob.
How's it going?
We have Paul.
Hello.
And then we have a special mystery guest that Paul, at the very last moment, figured out who it may be. Is a person that was with us when we first started doing podcast. It was the original crew was me, Paul, and Josh. So welcome back, Josh.
Yeah.
There he goes. There's the.
It's a battle of the beards.
Wait, it really is.
I know you guys missed that.
It really is the battle of the beards.
Dude, you should see mine right now. It's huge.
Are we talking about beards, right?
I don't know. Are we?
So welcome back. It's been a long time. So we have the full crew back on the show. It's awesome. So what have you been up to?
I'm a homeowner now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So that's taken up a whole lot of my life.
Yeah. Awesome.
Other than that, just being stupid, playing music, all that kind of crap.
Yeah, because you started a solo band.
Well, yeah, I guess, kind of, sort of.
Whatever. I got like 10 of those. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. Every time I get on Facebook, it's like Paul has a new.
It's funny because it's true.
It really is. Oh wait,
Hey,
I wrote this song in a different key.
Hey,
I'll rename the whole project.
What was that?
That, hey, listen to my Halloween music. Hey, listen to my ambient music.
That's the way it is. So you're still in Florida?
I don't do a lot of work at work.
Yeah, I'm still in Florida. It's really damn hot down here right now.
Oh, so now you're a homeowner in Florida, so there's no going back.
No,
that's like a 30-year Florida commitment.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
You're now really a Floridian.
Bob is like, I don't know who this guy is. Back when we did the show live and in 3D. Well, I guess the way it started.
The yin to your yang, Bob.
Nice.
Well, the way it started, I guess. I don't even know how the fucking this show started.
This show started because me and you met in the Organic Food Depot, and we were like, "Hey, horror movies are awesome."
Yeah, that's the way it happened. Yeah. And then we went to go see some movie. All of us was me, you, Paul, and Jan, and Miley. We're at the movie theater, and we were talking about it, and we're like, "Come on, Paul!"
Oh yeah, what movie was that?
I can't for the life of me think of that movie.
But whatever it was,
Your wife had a cupcake shirt on. That's all I remember about that conversation. And we stood out in the mall and talked for like ever.
Yeah.
Hey, what was that first movie we all went to see with no one's listening? Never mind.
No one ever listens.
The download counts will attest for that.
Yeah. Damn.
I don't know.
Oh, no, I know exactly what it was now. It was Zombieland.
Oh, was it Zombieland?
It was Zombieland.
fun
Yes,
movie.
it was
That
definitely
is a fun
Zombieland.
movie.
That was a good movie. Was it Zombieland?
Yeah, it
Weird.
was.
All right, well, I'll take that.
Well, anyway, hi Bob. My name's Josh. I'm an original guy from the show.
Very cool.
Awesome. Yay.
Which set you apart?
Actually, Bob, me and you have crossed paths. I used to come into the Narrow a lot.
And stare inside your window in your house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and stare at your dog. See, I told you I knew your dog.
Okay, I've grown to accept the fact that my dog will be more famous than I could ever hope to be.
That's going to be an awesome epitaph on your
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I walk
obituary
down the street.
caretaker of Mason from.
Yeah, when I walk down the street, people are like, "Oh my God, it's Mason and that guy."
And that weird guy.
It's just when Bob dies, they'll just have a picture of Mason on his tombstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Did you see there was a magazine that was out this summer or this past summer? The Norfolk magazines put out by the pilot called Distinction, and they had a picture of me and the dog in it. And
They forgot to put your name in there. No.
no, they had everything right, but everybody's like, "Oh my God, I saw your dog in that magazine."
No, the big misconception is everybody thinks that Bob's name is actually Mason, so it's
Yeah.
all just one thing.
If it was me, they would have forgotten the name. That's usually what happens.
They're just like, who's this? Why did we take a photo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, it's
So-
good to have you back, Josh. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Bob.
So, what is new with you guys?
Not much.
I love how every week, you know you're going to get this question.
I know,
but-
and I never prepare for it. You know, the same thing happened the first day of school. I never could remember what the hell I did over my summer. I don't know. I watched some Nickelodeon,
I didn't get up
know.
at 6 o'clock in the morning every
learned to
day.
huff Freon. You know, it was always something.
Yeah, that makes your voice change too.
It
when you
really
do that.
does.
I know.
Not much is going on. Another project has been started. No, it's tied into all the other ones. It's with a Facebook page that does kind of really macabre art. So they're going to be providing me with some stuff, hopefully, and I'll be providing them with music for their art.
Oh,
And what else? Sent the all the stuff out for mastering on the EBM Scar Limit Project stuff. And okay, yeah, well,
we've covered
that's
that.
nothing new. Everybody knows that.
There's a whole blog page about it.
Yeah, and it's called 79 Degrees, the temperature inside hell. And yeah, and okayed the final art for everything, so all that's set.
Awesome.
Just waiting to get that all going.
I've been busy.
Yeah. Heard back from the haunted house people.
You heard back from them?
Yeah, they liked it. They're going to get back in touch with me for some other stuff, I think. So we're still going back and forth. So.
Awesome. Cool. Sounds good. What about you, Bob?
Not a whole lot. We went and saw Beer Wars the other day. That was a pretty neat movie.
What is that movie again?
It's about big corporate beer versus small independent breweries.
Was that at the local theater?
Yeah, it was pretty neat. It was educational. Learned a lot. Drank a bunch of beer there. That was fun.
Yeah.
Anytime you can, marry the two, watching movies.
Immerse
They were giving
yourself in the culture of the movie.
Yeah. So that was fun. That was pretty neat. And then I don't have a whole lot going on. We did the guest podcast.
That is true.
That was a lot of fun.
And
For,
the Passing Judgment with JT and Carrie.
Yeah, on Plan X Networks.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun. I gotta tell you, man, I was a little unprepared for like how raw that thing was gonna get. Like you gotta try really hard to offend me, so like I wasn't offended at all, but I was a little unprepared for the level that they were willing to go.
Yeah, they kind of took it to a level that we never reach on our shows.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm about a 7 or an 8. They were at an 11.
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, it was good.
fun.
I mean, the show that we were on will broadcast on Tuesday on their website.
Yeah, and I've listened to some of their past episodes, and it's very funny. It's if you don't mind, salty language, it's very funny.
No.
And let's see what else. My well, this isn't really me, but my girlfriend and one of her friends is trying to bring drag to Norfolk, and they already do a drag brunch at Lola's Caribbean Restaurant on like 20th. So it's like on Sundays they do a drag brunch, but on I think it's June 9th or 6th or 9th June. I have to figure out the date better, but they're gonna have a drag show, and it's gonna star that one drag queen, Sharon Needles, from RuPaul's Drag Race, who's likely going to win. So that's I mean, it's not it's not
More
for
importantly,
everybody,
how
but
is
they're-
Mason?
Yeah, more. He's good. He's home sleeping now,
Oh, good.
snoring. I'm sure.
That's funny. Yeah, Miley made me started making me watch RuPaul Drag Race, since Sharon Needles is coming to town, and she's obsessed with Sharon Needles.
Well, like I said, it's not everybody's thing, but come on, it's slipping a little cool in Norfolk's back pocket. It's not something that happens every day.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I want to speak for Josh real quick about what's new with him. He finally watched, guess, Frankenstein.
Oh, thank God. We got into don't save the look. We got into some really good arguments over this. Josh, by the way, prefers the we're just gonna gang up on him.
No,
It'll be
we're
like
not.
old
We're not
time.
gonna do that.
No, we're not. But yeah, Josh had never seen Frankenstein, so I
James Whale.
gently suggested that he check it out.
There's no gently anything to it.
And,
Get out of my apartment.
yeah, that was right. It wasn't even my apartment. That's what it's made. And yeah, what else? What else about Josh's music?
Wait, back up. No, we need to focus on Frankenstein right now.
Okay.
So what did you think?
Okay. Since I knew I would be bombarded about this, I actually just finished watching Frankenstein like an hour ago.
So what'd you think?
It was edited terribly. But other than that, I
The
enjoyed
smile
it.
just fell off Paul's face.
No, I mean it's like what 1931 or 4 or
I don't think it was that old.
That's
Maybe,
no
yeah,
excuse
34
for
maybe?
bad
34. I think that's
photography.
about right.
There's no excuse for this abuse.
No, pretty much all Universal movies are edited poorly.
Yeah.
All right, so edited badly. Go on.
Other than that, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you cry?
you have to take into account the fact that it was a movie made in 1931. But other than that, I enjoyed it. I mean, I kind of knew the premise. I've seen all the little tidbits enough to know where the movie's going. But
What
I just
makes you
figured I
say-
was like, okay, I need to sit down and actually take this in. And I enjoyed
What
it.
makes you say it was edited badly?
Just the sudden cuts between scenes and stuff, and I don't know, because obviously they weren't at the stature of extraordinary filmmaking back in 31 like they are now, which is what I'm used to seeing. But that's the only thing I had that was kind of driving me crazy about it, was just the sudden
Saw
cuts and
Temple
scenes
on
and
Bob's
whatnot,
head
but-
flare.
I don't know. I'm not saying it's an unfair criticism, but you got to figure. I mean, it's a movie that was made to appeal to sensibilities that are almost 100 years old. So,
True.
So to say like, oh well, the pacing was off, or the cuts were I found I didn't like the way that was put together. It was like, well, you weren't the same audience you were 100 years ago.
But
Right.
it's all right. The purpose of bringing up that he just now watched Frankenstein is because it's closure to what we had when we had the very first episodes of Zombie Popcorn's The Talking Dead. It was an ongoing joke. The ongoing jokes with like Nicolas Cage, Patrick Swayze.
That's right.
See, this is finally closure to one of them.
There's still an open wound left that I have to talk about.
What is that?
If you bring up my harmonicas, I'm going to kill you.
No, it has nothing to do with your harmonicas. Although we made a pretty good stylophone symphony orchestra before you.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, before it broke, like the
Yeah,
first
dude, I had
hour
to
you
have that
it.
replaced, and they're all broken now. Piece of shit. No, I don't want to pick on him, but the other thing is that he preferred the new Clash of the Titans over the old one.
But you preferred the Wrath of the Titans over the new one.
Yeah, well,
that's because the
by default,
the Clash of the Titans remake sets the bar.
yeah, it
awfully
sets the
low.
bar pretty low. I did rave a little too much about Wrath of the Titans stuff afterwards, and I think I was just so amazed that it wasn't Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, you're just
that,
like,
that
"Woo!"
yeah, you know.
But that's what made our show good. There was a wide diversity of...
Well, let me give myself a fair shake here.
Yeah.
I really don't prefer the new Clash of the Titans. I thought it was just as terrible as whatever, but I don't know. I never saw the original Clash of the Titans as a child. We were talking about this before we went on air or whatever.
Yeah, that'll kind of ruin it for you.
Yeah, when you see things as a child, it puts something in your heart for that movie, and that was one that I never saw. So naturally, I was just like, you know.
That's why I don't like the first Tron.
What?
Yeah,
Get out of my house.
I've never
watched
seen
it as a
that
kid.
either.
Well, see, that's the thing I didn't want to bring up, or which is a good segue to our next thing. Tron Uprising.
This looks so awesome.
The first TV spot has hit the web. And for those who don't know, Tron Uprising is the story between the original Tron and Tron Legacy. It's the story of the rebellion, of the rise up. And this is an animated feature that is going to be on Disney XD. And the first TV trailer spot came on. It is now available for you to watch. And I'm a huge Tron fan. I have a Tron mouse right here. I have... Wait.
You'll get the reward you deserve.
I have the Tron action figure, courtesy of Paul.
I thought it was going to be an ongoing show.
It is.
Not
It's going to be
not a feature.
No, it's a series. It's a cartoon.
Okay,
yeah. But it looks it's produced by Disney Television Animation, and it follows a young program that Tron takes under his wing to train him, because Tron, is the ultimate fighter,
Mhm.
and so he
Tron
trains
fights for the users.
for the users. Yeah. So he takes this new program named Beck under his wing to train him, and this is the
plants crave.
this is the story between the original Tron and Tron Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about it. What were you going to say?
Hmm?
I thought you were going to say something.
No, I was just being inappropriate.
Damn you. So, but you said you saw the trailer. What do you think of it?
I thought it looked great. That's all I have to say. I mean, it looked... Yeah, I wished I was younger to have a reason to buy all the toys that are going to come out with this series. Yeah, no, it looks really fun.
I think it's...
I find the blues just as soothing as the movie blues that they use in the sets. So that makes me happy.
Well, I think it's just XD isn't it just their online channel, or is XD actually on cable?
I have no idea. I don't know much about Disney.
Yeah.
Since they put that restraining order against me in their chat rooms.
We won't talk about that.
I was acquitted, but
It's still a black eye.
but I'm not permitted to talk about it.
But no, I'm excited about it.
It looks really fun, though.
I love that.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of the Clone Wars, except I haven't watched any of the Clone Wars, so I can't tell you if they're good or not. But
Well, I'm just excited that because the Tron universe is so awesome, and I love
it is
that.
now.
It definitely is now, and I love that they're expanding it. They're expanding it. They're actually adding new depth to it, new elements
Right.
to it, and I think it's going to become like the Star Wars universe, where there's just so many different aspects of it, and different storylines that you can do.
I hope so. We can get in on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Be the 30 years from now, we'll be like, we were into that way before you.
I went and looked it up. Disney XD is the digital cable and satellite television network for Disney.
Okay. Is it in 3D?
It doesn't say it supports 3D, but it doesn't say it doesn't.
No, Disney's not nerds.
What? I think our secret guest has got to go.
Have you ever been on the Doom Buggies website? It's a website solely dedicated to the Haunted Mansion rides of Disney.
Really?
Yeah, right
And
on.
that will prove to you that Disney is indeed nerds. That there are some hardcore people out there
Awesome.
like me that have it bookmarked and go on to. Yeah,
You just constantly on the website?
it's a cool website.
Is that what inspires you to write your music?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
That in the chat rooms.
Well, you can't do the chat rooms anymore.
I can't do the chat room.
Speaking of bullying, well, I saw
Nice segue.
See, he's just as enamored of your segues as I am.
Jason has the most obscure segues I've ever heard.
that's my signature trademark.
Yeah.
No, but I saw the movie Bully last night.
Yeah, how was that?
It was all right. I mean,
Shut up.
A couple of those whitey bitches
Give
need
me
their
your
ass
lunch
kicked.
money.
yeah. I mean, it was an all right film. It was, and I don't know if I'm just callous from being an activist for so long, but it was sad. It's horrible to ever hear stories like that and to see, how horrible this, how this affects people's lives. But I didn't walk away from that movie wanting to do anything about it.
That's one of the criticisms I heard about that movie. Well, maybe not quite that, but that it didn't go quite, deep enough or...
Well, I think it went deep enough. I mean, there was people fucking crying.
Really?
And there's moments where I was like, sucking it back up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, because there's some horrible shit that happens. I mean, kids kill themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a kid that in the film that just couldn't take it anymore and took her mom's gun on the bus. Didn't shoot anybody, didn't do anything. It was unloaded. Just wanted to scare them so they'll leave them alone. And now her life is fucked because of it.
Yeah.
And it does a great job of showing how people who are being bullied, when they finally lash back out. Because there's a kid that was constantly had his head flushed in the toilet, slammed in the lockers, constantly, picked on. And then when he finally lashed out and beat the shit out of the person who was, doing it, he was the protagonist. He was the bad guy and not the bully. So it did a really good job showing that the people who are being bullied and that are suffering are the ones who get in trouble and get, focus.
Was he involved with some kind of like zero tolerance policy?
Oh, wait, it never talked about that, but but it just showed that the bullies got to go away, walk away for free, and it was always. I mean, even the teachers in the schools allowed the cameras to go into the school, and film them talking to the kids that were being bullied and shit, and the teachers were in there like, well, what'd you do to make this happen? Did you make them mad?
Wow.
And then they were like, why didn't you tell us about this? And the kids would go, I told you about this. When, like, there's one kid that one kid took the bus seat off, stuck his head under there, put the seat back on there, started sitting on his head and bouncing on him. And, the principal brought him in the office, and she was saying to the kids, she's like, well, when that happened, look, I talked to the kid and he stopped it. He goes, didn't I? The principal was like, I did something to help you. And the kid's like, no, you didn't. And he goes, well, did he sit on your head again? And he goes, no. He goes, well, the principal was like, well, then I did something. And he goes, the kid goes, no, because he just did other things and you didn't do shit about it. And the kid was the one that was being, was in trouble. And it was just so fucked up. And then when the parents went to the school to sit down and talk to the teachers and the principal, the fucking teacher, I guess the assistant principal was like, yeah, there's not really anything we can do about it. And she seriously fucking pulled out pictures of her sister's baby and said, look, I care about babies, but we're not going to do anything about your child. Look at my pictures. And started showing her pictures.
That's bizarre.
Teachers aren't paid enough to deal with your problems.
Well, they don't even care because even all schools have cops sitting in there that's supposed to be there to do it. They showed time
sitting out in their cruisers smoking dope out in the parking lot.
Well, no, they're doing worse. They're doing worse. Is like when you go report, they refuse to file a report on it. They're like, no, it's just kids. Yeah. I mean, it in that aspect of showing how serious the bullshit is in the school, did a great job, but. And I think it's just because I'm a callous activist. I see shit all the time, and I didn't feel like. I mean, obviously, I mean, it's already in my veins and in my blood that if I see anybody doing any injustice like that, that I will automatically react to it. So
Resort to violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all you can do is, as an adult, all you can do is step between it and say,
Yeah.
like, oh, you guys, you're not a school official. You're not in a position to do anything real. All you can do is break up a fight.
Yeah.
You know, hey, you stop that, little Johnny. Cut it out.
Yeah. I mean, I highly encourage everyone to go see the film.
Were you bullied in high school?
See, that was the thing is, I was bullied by more of church and administrators than I was more than kids.
Yeah, same here.
And
It's because you're different.
well, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I grew up in the same places that this film highlighted. It did Midwest, you know,
Were these
Oklahoma.
like small schools?
They were small town, small school, Oklahoma. I guess because the big schools wouldn't allow the cameras in there. Because they said apparently they filmed everywhere, and this is just what made the cut. That would.
Well, I don't know about that. I was bullied a lot in school.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, I got bigger, but when I was a little kid, I was a late bloomer, and everybody else was bigger than me.
Yeah, I didn't weigh 100 pounds until my sophomore year in high school.
When I was a kid, I used to do sports too. Like I played lacrosse when I was like in junior high, and when everybody else was the same size, I could compete. And then I got to high school, and everybody was huge, and I didn't get bigger until like, after high school.
Yeah.
And I tried to play lacrosse and got the shit kicked out of me.
And it says that's another thing. You asked if I was bullied and stuff in school, and that was one of the things that kind of hit me hard in the film was that there's this kid. He was born premature, so he's kind of slow. He's perfectly normal, but he has no social abilities about him. He just doesn't get along in crowds. He doesn't like. I'm not saying that's a flaw of him. It's just like that's why he stood out to most, and he didn't have any friends. And he thought, and the whole time people were slamming his head into shit and just beating the fuck out of him. And when he would come home and they were like, "How was school?" The parents would go, "How was school?" He was like, "It was all right." He wasn't a communicator. He didn't talk. He was just awkward that way. And it wasn't until the film crew filmed this shit that they said, "No, I'm showing this to your family, showing to the school." And when the parents found out about it, they set the kid down and was like, "Well, why didn't you tell us about this?" They go, "What?" The kid was like, "Well, they're just playing with me." And they're like, "No, this is not playing. This is severe.
Yeah.
They're stabbing you with pencils. They are, doing horrible things." They go, "These are not your friends." And you know what his reply was? He goes, "If they're not my friends, then who are my friends?" And he didn't have any.
Yeah.
And that killed him, that his parents were telling him that these kids that were beating his ass were not his friends.
He didn't know any better.
Yeah.
I totally like see where they're coming from. I was bullied in school, but I think I lucked out in that I went to a big enough school that there was enough people where I could
blend in.
and I made new friends.
Yeah, it's kind of how, I got bullied more in elementary school, mostly because my ear stuck out so much.
Really?
And then it was a big plucking, thing with older kids, especially on cold days, and that hurts like hell.
Did I'm sorry, go ahead, Paul.
No. And a little in high school, but by the time I got into high school, I was so fucking weird. People were just kind of like, we'll let them go. But still a little, but with you, like the graduating class was like, I don't know, like 630 or something like that. So the level of dorkdom, I was enough to where I could skate by,
there's numbers are your
and
friends.
and it wasn't always bad, and there were times I saw other kids being bullied, and you're like, I'm not touching that, and I never really went out and bullied people, but there were a couple things that I'm sure I did that, I'm not proud of as a kid.
We're not proud of. And I wish I'd have stood up. If I knew then what I know now, I'd be in a lot more fist fights. When I was a kid.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd have been in a knockdown drag out every other week, whether I won or lost.
You guys can't really do anything.
Yeah. I would definitely think about it. But then I was little. I was a little. I was not only was I younger, but I was much smaller.
What really sucked in high school, especially coming here from in a Navy town, girls' boyfriends were in the Navy, and if you got too close, yes, trust me, and not really, it's pretty standard. If you got too close to them or something happened, you'd actually have Navy guys coming after you. But Navy guys who couldn't go public with any of this stuff, so only so much would happen. But I think the worst, I had like 6 or 7 senior guys when I was in 10th grade try and said they were going to come and beat the shit out of me at the bus stop, and I ended up like having to pack like a pipe and a fucking chain on me and a screwdriver, and luckily the bus came because they would have kicked the shit out of me. I wouldn't have been able to do anything.
See, my thing was, I had the whole football team after me in high school, and they all wanted to kick my ass. And then I became friends with the son of the football coach. And one night we were out drinking, and he told me, he goes, I'm telling you this now, but you can't say anything. But my dad told the football team to kick your ass.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
That guy should be fired.
No shit. But this was what. It's funny because that was another thing that reflected, because in the movie you'll see that the parents, the teachers, the coaches, everybody, the cops that are in the school don't give a fuck. Their motto is.
True, I remember being bullied, like shoved in boxes and shoved around in the locker rooms, gym class, and the guy who was the gym teacher was also the football coach, and he.
Coaches are the worst, man.
Yeah. He was the gym teacher / football coach, and we even had a shitty football team. I don't think nobody that went to C. Milton Wright High School in fucking Bel Air, Maryland, can be proud of playing, high school football there. That was bullshit football, and I guess it's just everybody is a. Figures that they're a medium fish in a very, very, very small pond. And I remember getting knocked around and picked on and bullied in gym class, and I know the coach turned a blind eye. I know he did.
Well, I remember that when
saw him do it.
I was on the wrestling team, and we wrapped that hairy guy in duct tape, and then pulled it off, and I got sent to. Never mind. That's the Breakfast Club. That's Emilio Estevez.
This is blending together.
Hey, wait a minute.
But I think Josh.
And then I hooked up with that chick that made the sandwiches with.
But I think Josh has a real story. What were you saying, Josh?
No, did they highlight like who were the kids they were highlighting in the film? Like, was there a fat kid?
There was a lesbian girl that was in a small town, Oklahoma or Kansas. I think it was Oklahoma. There was
flat.
Huh?
Somewhere flat.
Yeah, somewhere flat. And there was the kid that they called Fish Face that was premature, born prematurely. And then there was the parents of the kids that killed themselves, that hung themselves or shot themselves because of being bullied. Because their parents decided to say, "Fuck this! We're going to go to our grave to change this," and then that was kind of one of the focuses about it.
I mean, of course, being I got picked on him. I won't go as far as saying bullied because I never got beat up or anything. But the fat kid always gets the. But
they're real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt, but just to clarify that they made a point in the movie that it's not. You don't have to be hit to be bullied. They showed many of times that it was just that verbal abuse is just
name
the same.
calling. All that
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I do remember in middle school I was like the smelly kid on the bus, and it didn't matter how much deodorant or anything I wore. They just wanted a reason to pick on somebody, you know. So that was my bully experience. But high school wasn't so bad, but middle school was the only thing. That was the only thing anybody ever said to me in middle school, and that was only on the bus. School wasn't so bad, but bus drivers, they just don't care.
Well, that's the thing. The majority of the movie was in the bus.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, the parents
is a mean, cool place.
Motherfucker!
Free for all.
It is,
and those bitches are from your neighborhood, so they know all the crap. That
well, the funny thing is, it's not funny, but in the movie, there's because it focused a lot in the bus. A lot of things that have the girl that pulled the gun out happened on the bus. The kid that was born prematurely, most of his stuff happened on the bus. And then when the parents went to the principal and the assistant principal and was like, when I was a kid, if somebody stood up in the bus driver pulled over and took care of it. She goes, none of this happens now. You know what the assistant principal's answer was? I've been on that bus, and those kids are perfect little angels.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when she's on there.
Yeah. But
you remember when the bus driver used to turn on the lights on the bus, and that meant to shut the hell up, like
he would flash them.
If shit had gotten too bad, then you had to turn it on, and everyone sat in silence the way.
I do remember a
bus
specific bus that I rode in elementary school. The kids on this bus were terrible, and I was one of the ones that just kind of sat to myself. But there was always the threat of they were going to put cameras in the bus to see what was going on. And I'll never forget this. One day, the bus driver shows up in another bus that typically she doesn't pick us up in. And we got to school. She stood up and pointed to this little black dot at the front of the bus. And, dude, I swear to God, every kid on that bus, sat down, sat up straight, and we're like, oh, my God. Probably wasn't a camera, but it was still the threat
they still
of it.
put the fear of God.
You know what they
in
should do? They should just put those fake cameras that all the Chinese restaurants have in them. You go to Home Depot and you see the little white camera with the coil, and that's what they should put up.
I mean, my life on the bus. I mean, because
my bus was all right.
Where I grew up, it was 45-minute drive to the first gas station, first part of civilization. Right. So the bus ride that we took was long. I had my head split open. I was a member of the Young Astronauts, and they sent me a replica of the very first Pepsi can that went into space. I was so happy about it. Took it. They smashed it, destroyed it.
Oh, my God.
And
man, my school was not so bad after all. My bus was all right, aside from the plucking of the ears. Once I got a little older, I was left alone, and I just sat and read.
I used to read on the bus a lot.
I'd get that number 8 hump seat, put my feet up on it.
But I got made fun of for reading.
Yeah.
There's this I don't know, it's anything.
Words.
Anybody, right.
Yeah.
You read? What are you, some kind of...
Well, fuck. When I was in the 4th grade, I was obsessed with space, planets and stuff, and I got my first encyclopedia set. And I used to take a book on the bus with me and copy word for word about the planets. I would pick a planet for the day, whether it's Saturn, Uranus, or whatever, and I would copy. I would copy word for word on it just because I was obsessed. I wanted to be an astronaut, and kids threw my encyclopedia out the window.
Damn,
God, what happened?
So.
You could have been somebody, Jason. What the hell?
You talk about stuff you weren't proud of. I remember being on the bus, and I know to this absolute day, not proud of this at all. But I remember there was a girl on our bus route, and her name was Janine Scarpelli, and she got picked on a lot. And sometimes I helped, and
I did that a couple times.
And the reason I helped is because I was glad it wasn't me.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people feel that way.
And I'm not proud of it at all. And I'll tell you, here's the thing that makes me least proud of it is that her and her family moved to a new town or something. And I forget the situation because I just remember she went away and then she came back and she was knock dead gorgeous.
Oh, slap in the face.
Shit,
that is the best revenge ever.
Hot like you read about. And I got the brush off because she remembered that I was one of those
you're a douchebag.
I'm getting flashbacks of Flatliners now. Remember Kiefer Sutherland picked on or there was somebody in that movie that picked on the people.
Yeah, he
and
picked on a little kid, and then that ghost or something came back to haunt him.
Yeah. And then there's another movie. I don't know, Bob, you might be able to help me out with this. There was another movie where a guy he realized he was being shitty to people all through school, and he decided to go back and try and help the people that he bullied or something.
There's a TV series where
I was like, my name is Earl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, this was a more serious note, but I guess that's kind of the same thing too.
But that was a horrible show.
I liked that show.
did you?
I'll never remember. I'll never forget Janine Scarpelli, man, because she got beautiful, beautiful. And
It taught you a good life lesson there, didn't
yeah.
it?
She was beautiful to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she was always beautiful. I just didn't
Call me.
Give me a ring, Janine.
call me. God, she
listens.
And I remember, like, it was probably like our senior summer. She was back visiting somebody, and I was like, "Who is that hot chick over there?" Because I was some, shithead, dipshit 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Man, was she good looking.
And that's the way it works. But anyway, enough of our confessions.
Seriously, man, this went on for a while.
Well, but you know what? It's cathartic to talk about.
Yeah.
And I think that those are life lessons, because if I saw somebody being bullied, I would feel compelled to get involved.
Oh yeah, there's no question about it. If I saw something happening, there's the one thing about Texas is funny is that, like, anytime you see a parent abusing a kid in public, or you see a boyfriend being aggressive towards a girl, they're like, that's their problem, just leave it alone. That's what I was taught growing up. I was like, there's no way in hell. Yeah. There's no way in hell that I'm just going to sit there and go, I'm not going to say anything. I'll get my ass kicked before I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
Well, that was this involved a dog, not a human being. But Jason, I guess you could respect this. When I was working up there, working in Virginia
no,
Beach,
I can't. No.
Yeah, okay, never mind. Screw you. Anyway, I was driving down the right there at the beach. I don't remember the name of the road anymore, but it's the strip that goes down the beach, and there's the houses and whatnot on the beach. And I was in my work van. And I saw this guy standing on the road trying to cross over to go to the beach. And he had a dog with him, like a lab or something. And the dog wasn't on a leash or anything. And the dog went out on the road, and he started yelling and screaming at it. And, as soon as it came back over to him, he started, hitting it. I'm a sucker for animals, and I would do this for a human being in a second as well. But, like, I pulled my van over, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? If you don't want your dog to go on the road, put it on a leash.
No shit.
And like me and him got into it, and he called my office and was complaining about me, and I got a talking to about it. But like, I can't see stuff like that happen and not do something.
I mean, no, that's a good thing. I mean, yeah, you got a talking to at work, but fuck, you can't allow shit like that to happen.
Well, I went back to work, and he had called before I got back to my job, back to my office. But I went right in, and I told him exactly what happened. He's like, "Oh, okay, well, we got a call, blah, blah, blah. We need to talk to you about this." I was like, "Listen, you can do whatever you need to do to me, but I can't just stand by and watch something like that happen."
That's true.
Yeah. Granted, he wasn't like beating the dog with a stick or anything, but still, it's just the principle. Don't hit your dog because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Bob does with Mason.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Mason ever.
Kidding. He doesn't do it. I was joking.
Yeah, because if people actually heard that, Bob would probably be
Hey, Bob would be strung up.
I almost got in a fight.
An adult male's body was found off a collie this evening.
I was almost in a fight in Collie Cantina the other night because the guy had his dog on the patio. And he starts yelling at the dog, and like, I mean, he was clearly drunk, and he's like yelling at his dog and yanking the leash around, and I'm like sitting there drinking my beer, and I was like, I fucking dare you to hit that dog. I dare you. If you hit that dog, I swear to God, you and me are going to be all over this bar. Win or lose.
Your girlfriend totally would have kicked his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your rock star girlfriend that you found.
She goes out and handles my light work. But I can totally relate to that because he was like yelling at his dog, and he never hit him, but it always looked like he was gonna. And I was just sitting there sipping my beer, like simmering,
ready to break it off on the bar. Yeah. Shit, I should have got a bottle. Why didn't I get a can?
Like he laughed, and I was like, oh my God, like my heart's calming down. I was like, I was all gonna get a fist fight over this dude's dog.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it happens. I mean, that's.
But I'd have done it. I get mad thinking about that guy.
I was at Tap House when.
Never really been in a fight. No. Let's go get a fight, Bob.
Yeah, all right, come on, Fight Club.
Oh, yeah. I guess what we're gonna do after the show, we're gonna go get a fight.
Hit me as hard as you can.
If you could fight anybody, Gandhi.
All right. Okay. So we went from stories of us being bullied to
Right,
stories
to
of us
having
bullied.
compassion for people. That's awful. That's awful that they would do these things. Let's beat the fuck out of them.
So
with good reason. Let's add that.
You know what?
Let's go find some animal
That's
abusers.
right.
Or
You know, if that guy would, if you'd have worked that guy over on the side of the road for his dog, he earned it.
yeah.
Right. Exactly.
there's a guy in here now that
We're
is-
starting a vigilante group.
is being arrested because he threw a Havanese puppy
Oh yeah.
off a balcony
No,
on
it
the
was a
Econo-
Maltese dog, and I heard about that story. So what's
Well,
the-
it said
what's the
Havanese
scheme?
in the
Havanese. Okay.
yeah. Well, he had thrown one out of a moving car 2 days before. Another
Motherfucker,
Havanese
that
dog.
motherfucker needs to get his ass beat.
That dog died. This one's in critical condition. He got into an argument with like his girlfriend or wife or someone at the Econo Lodge, and so he just picked up the fucking puppy and threw it off the balcony. Yeah, and
There's somebody else that deserves it.
yeah, yeah.
There's a guy I work with here. He was driving because we do a lot of driving for my job, and he was driving up in the north
sell
part of
drugs.
town where there's not really a whole lot of civilization, just highway. And he said he was driving down there, and all of a sudden somebody chunked a dog out of the car,
Oh motherfuckers.
and he pulled over and got the dog, took it to the vet and everything. I was like, dude, I love you right now, but like I just I can't fathom doing that to
Yeah,
a
that's
helpless
insane.
animal.
I I used to work pest control for like 7 years.
And you were the guy that killed the ant. No.
Yeah, no, I was the termite guy, but yeah, I had to kill a mouse once, that I
Yeah.
didn't want to, and the lady was like, it was in Carolina, and because we went all the way down there, and they were having a mouse problem, and I was like, all right, well, I can put this bait down. That's like the best thing we have. It's quicker. No, I want a glue trap. I was like, no, you do not want to do glue traps. No, I want one. And she demanded, and she was going to, so I had to put a glue trap down. And I said, fine, I'll put the glue trap down, but if you hear this thing scream, it's on you. You take care of it. Of course, it got caught. And she was like, we're country. We can handle it. She couldn't, so I had to drive all the way back, and there's this mouse stuck there. And so I had to
Screaming,
what
chewing.
am I going to do? So I had to fold it in half, and I jumped off of something really high. Didn't give it a really quick,
It's over.
other than that, what was I going to do? So then there was another time we had the humane traps, they roll over, and then the mouse just pretty much dies of lack of water because I don't come back, but for every
right.
Real humane.
once a month. Yeah. Well, that's the the irony of it. Well, that's the lie behind it. So I get there once and I see there's a mouse halfway out, and they're not real tight, so he could have got out, and I'm like, oh. And this woman, this was at a Food Line, she goes, yeah, he was getting ready to get out of that humane trap, so don't worry, I beat him to death with a broom handle. And I was like, you could just let him go. He would. I found one alive once, and I kept him in my car for a day, and I fed him bread, and we went everywhere, killing all his other friends. And then I let him out in a field somewhere.
Yeah.
But most of the people that work in pest control aren't very cruel at all. The older people, though, that have been doing it a while, or like Mom and Pop, the guy I originally worked with, his parents owned one, and that's how he got into it. And they would do squirrel jobs, and they'd catch the squirrels in the traps. And I'm like, where do we go to let them out, And he's like, oh, I used to just take them and throw the trap in a lake for...
Oh, God.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? The worst, this company I worked for now didn't do it, but, when years ago he did. The worst, I had to go on a bird job, and someone had they had a nest that had birds had gone in through a little vent in their house, and it's over where they sleep, and so they're making noise at night. And I'm thinking, whatever. It's
It's birds.
it's
That's what they
3
do.
weeks, right? They'll have their things. It'll go away. Clean it out. No, they demanded it, so I had to go with somebody, and I refused to do it. But they went in with a pole and a hook, and they pull everything out, and there's little baby birds that fall, and they're all meh, meh, meh. And so I had to throw them in a garbage bag because the mom won't have anything to do with them.
That's a myth, but
yeah, well, that's what I was told.
Yeah.
And there was nothing left for them to go to anyway. So yeah, I had to throw them in a trash bag and throw them away. I fucking cried the entire way home. And when I got back to the office, I told him, you can fire me, do whatever the fuck you want, but I'm never doing a bird job again. I can't. This is where I draw the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of those guys, man, they just don't care. They're just like, oh.
Well, I know from previous experience of places that I've worked that we had to deal with issues like that. That there are worse stories than that pest control do to animals.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this one, okay?
Do it.
Speaking of pest control, Rob Zombie directed a new commercial. Has anybody seen it?
Yeah. that is a good segue. You rock. That is true. He has done a new.
Way to keep it moving, Josh. Way to go.
That's good because we had slowed down.
I'm starting to tear up over here, dude. We got to move this along.
We're taking it to a dark place, man.
Yeah, I know.
But yes, no.
I
Seriously.
haven't told any of the Buddhist temple guys my past yet.
But it's funny. It's a good segue. Thank you so much, Josh. But Rob Zombie, he did a commercial not too long ago for Woolite, and it's all right. Yeah. And he's done another one. He's taken a break from the film that he's doing now, the Season of the Witch, to do another one. And this one is really bizarre to me because it's pest control. It's ant killer. And
there's actually a relevant segue.
Yeah, there's a relevant segue there.
No, you messed up, Josh.
No, we messed up by saying
the commercial's actually pretty funny. So
the funny thing is that he's vegetarian. He's definitely pro animal, and he's doing. I mean, again, there's this argument between people what or insects really whatever, but he is doing a pest control commercial. The commercial itself, if you haven't seen it yet, shows a guy. It's done in true Rob Zombie form with
not just a guy. It has Clint Howard.
That is true. Clint Howard's in there, and he's in like a basement or something that looks like a mad scientist or whatever, and he's mixing up chemicals. And actually, no, he's not mixing up chemicals. He's making a ransom note, but it's really small, and he's cutting out letters from a newspaper, and the ransom note ends up being something like "Die ants." Oh, right. You're going to die. He glues it all together, and the next scene is him out with this ant pesticide stuff, throwing it in the yard, and he goes, "This kills ants," whatever, So it's
okay. Now, I got to get off subject for a second. I just realized this because I didn't know this, and I want to talk about this. Okay, Rob Zombie directed Halloween, and then he did the terrible Halloween 2. Now he's doing a movie called Season of the Witch. Are you kidding me?
No, there's no connection to it.
Yeah, but still, that's just sort of funny.
Ironic.
It is funny. It's based on a song that he wrote when he was with White Zombie, under the same title, and he's actually filming it in Salem, Massachusetts, and it is about how this rock band, by playing this music or something, summons this ancient witch spirit that was crucified, or that was
behind this 100%.
Totally.
It sounds so funny.
That she was tortured in during the Salem witch trials.
Will it star Nick Cage?
No, it won't have Nick Cage in it.
Has there been a trailer for this or anything?
Not yet. No, there's only photos for it.
Because I seem to recall hearing or seeing or something about this. It sounds like a good version of Jennifer's Body to me.
That movie was on TV the other day. I couldn't even finish it. It was just like
it's terrible.
Speaking of witches, Sony Pictures is re-imaging to Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Look at you trying to
we're all getting on this.
We're trying to take your job, Jason.
What is this? This is Segue.
We don't need you.
The title of this show is going to be Segue. That's what. That's it. So anyway, since you brought it up, tell us about it.
I don't know. I lost my page when I threw it up, and in
just
Glee.
wanted to steal your thunder.
He
though.
did,
That's
didn't
pretty
he?
much it. That's all I got. So what's it say here? Sony Pictures is re-imaging Sabrina the Teenage Witch as a superhero. Sony Pictures will be turning Sabrina... God damn, they repeat themselves. Turning Sabrina the Teenage Witch into a superhero for a new live-action film. The movie will, quote, will be... an origin story in the vein of Spider-Man about a young girl coming to terms with her remarkable powers. I guess they could get the same girl that played it, because I don't think she's done much since...
Michelle Gellar?
Yeah.
No, that's Buffy.
Oh, well, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so great if it were a movie about a girl who gets superpowers when she gets her first period, dude.
I don't know. It
She
kind of
just
reminds
goes on a
me of,
rampage and bitches people out.
Oh, man, what was that? Shit, it was a movie my sister used to watch over and over about this red-headed witch. Teen Witch.
Oh, Teen Witch, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like Teen Wolf?
Yeah, in a way, pretty much. I want you to love me, Brad, but not under the spell.
Whoa. So, wait a minute. So, what do you think about... were y'all into Teenage or Sabrina?
No, I was too old by then. Although I always thought she was cute because I was around.
But, you know,
that
there's a
age.
drinking game.
Played her in the show.
I don't
She
know.
has one of those names. It's,
Samantha?
Oh god damn it! Now you're gonna make
I
me
don't
look it up.
But-
I don't know.
But there's a drinking game with it. And every time the cat
cat.
talks, you take a drink.
Yeah, my little sister had a hubcap hanging on her wall because Sabrina the Teenage Witch had it
Yeah,
on the
Melissa
show.
Joan Hart.
Oh, okay,
Melissa
that's
Joan
it.
Hart. Damn it, Bob, you beat me to it.
Bob's a wizard with his magical phone, his magical device. Excuse me.
My magic brick.
Your magical brick, the magic brick. Yeah, no, I mean, whatever. I think it's cool. Anything that gets kids into witchcraft in some way or form.
But what do you think about the fact that she's a superhero, not a witch? I mean, because you can't. I mean, it's weird. Okay, so she's a witch. She already has superpowers because she's
Well, I think you know, for in the circles of like midwives and doulas, that witches are probably superheroes.
I think it's more along the line. The two aren't mutually exclusive. Like you can be a witch and a superhero, but not all superheroes are witches, and not all witches are superheroes. I mean,
Yeah, I'm sure there's some
So-
superheroes that are like wizards or shit or something
Right.
like that. Yeah,
name one.
Strange.
The Wizard.
The wizard.
There you go.
Doctor Strange.
Fuck you, Doctor Strange. He's the sorcerer supreme. Come on, man.
Is that the guy with the metal face?
No.
No, who's that?
No, that's
Dr.
Doctor
Doom.
Doom.
Doctor Doom.
That's Dr. Doom.
That's who I was at my when I
Victor
was,
Von Doom.
I was
Okay,
in for Halloween.
What you're saying is that you have no problem with a witch being a superhero.
No,
No.
What would be her superpowers? That she can cast spells, witchcraft,
Zatanna is a
But-
witch.
the band,
sorcery.
I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting thought. So, all right, I'm going to nerd out a little bit.
Well, I mean, she would have
how does
power
she
over
cast
the
spells, right? Zatanna casts spells by saying the spell backwards. Whatever she says backwards, it happens. Only the constraint is she can never say the same spell twice, right? Kind of cool. So she has to be able to think backwards and say the words backwards, and then
that's just linking it to the devil.
Yeah, of course. But so what are Sabrina the Teenage Witch's superpowers? Like, how does she get her powers? Does she spend like 5 hours casting a spell and sacrifice a pigeon, or is it just like magic that she just sprinkles on?
Well, if it's anything
here-
from the series in the comic book, which came from
There was a comic book?
Yeah, there was. It came from Archie.
Really?
Archie comic, yeah.
From Archie Comics.
By that, she had to learn the spell. She had to do it in traditional witch, or especially in the TV series. She had to do it in traditional witch, what we think of traditional witch, where she'd have to learn the spell, get the components, and put it together.
Well, then that's alchemy.
Yeah. So what would? So she's Batman.
Alchemy. I mean, I guess it could be alchemy. Alchemy usually has a little more to do with like Christian imagery than.
Well, I mean, like alchemy in the sense
Yeah,
that she's
yeah,
got,
I
like,
guess what you're saying.
Eye of
Yeah.
Toad and toe of Newt and
Well, that's
Ring of
the
Bat and
traditional
stirring
witch
a
stuff
cauldron.
going back to like Hecate and all of that, for like the Greek witches.
Hecate.
Hecate, thank you. I never say it
Wait,
out loud.
here's where you can cross over into this non-religious life and to debate about this a little bit. Is they're going to say witchery is just black magic and it can't be used for good. So how is she a superhero?
I hope so.
That's right.
You hope so.
Oh, by the way, speaking of this non-religious life, I saw a billboard I meant to tell you guys about when I drove by a church, and it said, "Oh man, it was
That's
like
a good.
it was Holy Trinity, like 3 Father, Son, Holy Ghost plus 1 cross equals forgiven."
I've seen that.
That there, buddy, is math and science. There's no disproving that. That's what I was
Wait,
tell you.
math and science, that's just preposterous. We need invisible beings around here.
No, I'm telling you, it all adds up that way.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you give us your thoughts on it, Bob, about that billboard?
I mean, you could say forsaken, but that way that wouldn't work.
That I like that we're like, it's math. No, it's not math. It's goddamn arithmetic, which is not really math. And I don't know that I've seen that before. I've seen it like one where it was like 3 nails.
Oh, that was it. Maybe that was it. 3 nails, 1 cross equals forgiven.
Yeah,
there we go.
It's just
I would totally think you would need at least 2 for the ankles. That is a lot of weight.
Yeah.
What I saw a lot of when I was up there was the what is it called? Not of this world stickers.
Oh,
and shit
that's
all over
huge here
cars.
right now. There's a store in either Pembroke or Lynn Haven Mall, and Not of This World is a like a religious clothing company, or
It's like Hot Topic
Oh, is
for
that
Christian
the ones
people.
where it's
In
like
OT with the cross.
OTW?
Yeah, and
Is
then
that what that is?
Yeah,
'Cause
and
I
then it's
see
got
it
the halo.
everywhere.
It's got the little halo for the.
Not of this world. Oh my gosh! I
Yeah.
knew it was something
Yeah,
like
you-
Jesus-y and Christian.
You can go to the store in. I'll ask Jan. It's either in Lynn Haven or Pembroke. I think maybe it's in Lynn
Actually,
Haven.
now that you say that, I remember I did see that store in a mall somewhere.
Yeah. We used to just have Heaven and Earth here, but now
Right,
there's.
right.
That's like the more hip Creedish store.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
A lot of people are fans of Nickelback shop there.
Yeah.
I dug a picture of a church billboard, not a billboard, but their marquee, and I thought it was funny because it was their Good Friday service, and I always think that like I saw one that was like it was off of Colley Avenue. It said like, if evolution was true, mothers would have 8 arms or some shit like that, and I was like, that's stupid. But this one,
Only if she bred with.
this one just like, I thought it was so funny. It was their Good Friday service, and their billboard just said, "Ride on, King Jesus."
I saw that one.
That's awesome.
I saw that one.
And I can just see the pastor up front like, "Ride on, King Jesus, ride on." And it makes me think like maybe Jesus rode a Harley or something.
No,
Like-
he rode. Remember from our Easter show, he rode 2 donkeys
Oh, all right.
Into the sunset.
on palm
I'm
leaves.
just like, "Ride on, King Jesus."
Hey, so speaking of crazy God people, does anybody heard about this Carrie remake they're doing?
Yes, I have.
Again?
Again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
The only thing that makes me think it might be good is they got what's her name, Chloe how do you say her name? She's from Kick-Ass. The
Yeah.
little girl from Kick-Ass.
But they're changing the whole thing.
she's gonna
They're-
play the Carrie role.
Yeah,
It's a little young, isn't
Yeah,
it?
she seems awful young.
But they're
Actually-
changing the whole premise of the story. They're saying that they're
That
not.
sounds more like Firestarter.
That's exactly, yeah.
They're,
yeah.
Like remake Firestarter.
In the final middle school dance of the year.
Like, I think Carrie was a great movie
Yeah.
and a great translation of the novel to the screen.
Well, see, that the funny thing is that you say that, but in all of the write-ups about the remake, they're saying that they're not doing a remake. They're taking it back truer to the novel.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading right now.
How can they do that with the girl being so young?
Actually,
Because
like, the Dark Shadows remake or movie that's coming out, she's in that, and she's not in the trailer very much. But if you see her, like, she's aged. I don't
Is
know
that the
how
blonde
old the
girl?
girl is, but
In the trailer?
No, I think the blonde girl is Heather Graham.
No,
plays
no.
the witch?
There's Heather Graham.
No,
and then
no, no,
there's-
no, I meant
there's-
the
there's
young
only, like-
blonde girl.
There's only like 2 shots of her in the Dark
Yeah,
Shadows
I had no
trailer.
idea that's her. She looks a lot older.
Yeah,
You
she
know,
looks
I
a
mean,
lot
maybe-
older in that.
I mean,
She
maybe
looks like
can
she's
be
maybe
older,
16
but
or
I thought
something.
that like one of the things about Carrie too, if I remember, and it's been a long time since I read the novel, but I also remember like puberty was a big issue for Carrie. Like you know, like she's like a young girl. She gets her period for the first time, and her mother's like, "You're unclean." And beat her.
Right.
I never cared for that movie that much.
You're more of a Christine fan.
But yeah, but the mother scared the shit out of me. That is the creepiest part of the whole movie, is her mother.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She
Oh,
was
it's just awful.
great.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Yeah.
Actually,
Horse rouge.
she's 15, so I mean, if it's the puberty thing they're going for, like,
That's a
I guess
little
she's
late.
right
It's
around
still
the
within
age for
realm of
that.
possibility.
Well, with makeup and
Well, no, because the studies showing now that kids who are reaching, their
puberty at 9.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
hitting
There was
way
there,
early.
there was a kid.
in Japan had a baby at 10.
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
yeah.
I heard about that the other day.
Was it Japan? I thought it was somewhere else, but yeah,
It may be
10.
somewhere else. But
Jen knows 'cause she told me about 10. So best case scenario, she conception started at 10 years old and 3 months, but
Yeah.
odds are it was 9 and some change.
It's not her having a baby at 10 that I'm worried about.
No, of course. But, somebody, unless it really was divine,
yeah. If this is the baby Jesus,
Jesus is coming back.
Yeah.
and he's Japanese this time.
this time he was the first time.
You ever see that Family Guy where Stewie's in heaven for some reason, and then he's talking to Brian. He's like, "Oh, I saw Jesus," and he's like, "Really? How was that? Pretty cool." What did he say? He's actually Chinese. Says his last name's Chung. Doesn't know where everybody's getting the Christ from.
That's awesome. Speaking
Anyway,
of
like-
Jesus Christ, who's gonna go see Cabin in the Woods?
I'm
I
going
will-
as soon as I leave the show.
Yeah. I'm going to see that tonight.
You're seriously gonna go see it tonight?
I am, yeah.
It's getting good reviews.
It
Are
is,
y'all
which-
believing
which
the hype?
It's weird to me because it didn't.
That's not hype. It's just those are reviews.
No, there's a lot of hype in
Well,
it
see-
saying that it's breaking the boundaries of what the horror genre is and creating everything. They're saying what Scream did, while poking fun at the genre, that this movie does it and then turns it on its head and redefines it.
Awesome.
Well, see, I'm stoked about it and I'm worried about it because number one, because Rotten Tomatoes always gives movies that I like a bad rating, but it's got like a 93% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, so I don't know what to think. But ever since I saw the first trailer about it, I've been very interested in it, and I like the fact that they're trying to turn the typical horror movie on its head. So I'm really interested to see it. It'll probably let me down, but
Yeah, no, I agree. The trailer to this film is phenomenal.
It's
but
weird to
trailers
me to
usually
mix,
are
like-
misleading.
Like sci-fi with the haunted cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
It's a very odd.
right.
And I can't say I'm against it, but it does make
See,
me
that's
uncomfortable.
what blew me away about the whole thing was you think you know the story and it looks like every other horror movie, and then all of a sudden they throw this thing in, you're like,
Yeah,
wait a minute,
it's almost
what?
like the Hunger Games. Like they're in some little world of
Well,
where
that-
they're playing this game. I
that
mean,
may be
not
true,
really, but
and you're right, Josh. They've been saying all along, like, if you think you know what this movie is, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Right. And see, that's one thing they're doing. That's a ploy they're doing with movies nowadays, and even movies I know that are going to suck ass. Like, if a movie trailer has this little blurb at the end, the ending will shock you, even though I know it's going to suck dick. That makes me want to see the movie so bad.
Oh,
Just
I
because
know.
you want to get you just want to get a free
if
job.
that was
on
the
it.
case, you would have loved Frankenstein because that's been going on since.
So what did you say the Rotten Tomatoes score was?
Last time I
93?
looked at it, it was a 93. It's probably gone down
Yeah.
from
So
since then.
Rotten Tomatoes, what they do is they look at the review and they say whether it's positive or negative.
Right.
It falls on one side or the other. They say this review is positive, this review is negative. And so then that 93% is based on however percentage of positive reviews.
Right.
There's another like aggregator called Metacritic, where they have like this secret algorithm that they won't reveal to anybody, but they actually like they read the review, and then the review is scored on a scale of 1 to 100, and then they take the average score of all of the mainstream reviews. And the Metacritic score for Cabin in the Woods right now is 72, and that's based on 39 reviews. And 2 of the Metacritic reviews are 100%, which is fairly strong. It only has 2 negative reviews. So
okay, now I'm
that's
taking
good
a look.
sign.
I'm taking a look at Rotten Tomatoes now. Basically, the way they break it down is similar. Rotten Tomatoes' actual rating is based upon what critics' reviews are. So they have 151 reviews.
Of favorable reviews.
Do what?
It's the percentage of favorable reviews.
Right.
Like, it'll
and
say
then they
like,
also have the audience. They also have the audience
I
percentage.
was on the poop shoot, and
Yeah, movie
they
poop.
said, yeah.
Well, he calls
I think
himself
that Cabin in
Magnolia
the Woods
fan.
is getting. I think it's getting favorable reviews, and I think maybe like the negative reviews are maybe they didn't get it or they didn't buy the gimmick or whatever it was.
Well, I just happened to go on a message board, which those are shitty anyway, but there was only one guy on there that was like, this movie's totally crap, and everybody else was like, dude, this was awesome. So, I'm,
Shut up, you're a troll.
I think if the trailer is any reflection of the film, it's going to be phenomenal.
well,
I actually stopped watching the trailers for the movie. Like after we saw that first trailer, I've purposely ignored any other TV spots, any other advertising, because I don't want to know what it's about anymore.
Yeah, no, that's
Right.
exactly what I did. I watched the original one that we talked about on the show, and then after that I haven't watched it because that sold me on it. That makes me happy with it. I don't want to see. I'm with you. I don't want to see any more of it.
yeah, I saw the first trailer, and I haven't made it. I made it a point not to watch any of them after that.
I think it's going to be good. So you got to let us know what you think. Are you going to go see it definitely?
Yeah, maybe
Bob?
this weekend.
What about you, Paul?
I don't know. I haven't really thought. I kind of forgot that it was even out there.
It came out yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like, not really on my radar.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if I get a chance, I will.
Yeah.
But
We should go see it after this show. And we'll be in solidarity with Josh.
I'm going to the 9:30, boys.
Yeah.
we'll probably go to the 9:45.
Yeah, fuck that. But when I went to go see Bully, going back to that film, of course all movies have trailers in front of it. There's a movie that I think all of us have to go see together. And that was Step Up Revolution.
I knew this was coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take this time to.
Yeah, it's funny. I had to.
Yeah, I gotta
I'll
go.
let
I
you
think I'm gonna
first.
go to the early showing.
Of Step Up Revolution? Step Up Revolution looks horrible. And the funny thing is, the twist to this episode, or this part of the series, I guess, is that they become activists. They're like, it was funny because like the first half of the trailer, they're all dancing and they're just like street performance theater. Wow, yeah,
Yeah.
Woo! And then you're doing the flash mob thing,
Mhm.
and then this business comes in and want to buy up all the property on the ocean front, and they're like, no, it's time to stop dancing just for fun and dancing for a cause.
Yeah.
And then they all become revolutionaries.
We'll all get the money to save the ski chateau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're doing protest dancing and stuff, and it's all but it's gonna be in 3D. So
Like the skinny puppy protest video.
yeah, no, it's exactly like that.
That video is so fucking awesome.
It is an awesome video, but I don't think this movie's gonna be that awesome.
That's
All right,
pretty
well,
fun.
But you're gonna go see it, Josh?
Yeah, I'm going to see it at 9:30 tonight.
Dance.
Me and a bunch of friends.
No, Step Up Revolution. I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm going to see it at 9:30 tonight with me and a bunch of friends.
Okay.
I'm just, I have a time machine now.
You're just gonna go see it.
I can go to the future.
Do it.
I don't know how much you guys have actually talked about this movie, but I've been wanting to nerd out about this movie with somebody, and I think
Do it.
you guys are the perfect people to do that with.
You just call us nerds. That's bully.
It's high praise.
Shut up, nerd.
High praise.
What movie?
Prometheus. How much have you guys talked about Prometheus?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
What movie? I
A
did?
lot.
Prometheus.
Prometheus.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of like what we do.
That's all we do. And before
I
we
have
get
to
into
say-
it, I want to say that Ridley Scott just did an interview, and he was talking about 3D, and he says this. because he responds to 3D critics, people who are like 3D movies just blah 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 whatever. He says, quote, "It's not brain surgery. It's pretty straightforward. Anybody who says it adds 6 weeks, they don't know what they're doing. If you got something hanging around the foreground that looks out of place, tell it to fuck off." That's what he says.
I don't know what that means.
What?
He's just being a bully.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, he's being a bully. But I just think it's awesome. He's just like, it's not rocket science. It's all you fucking people complaining about 3D adding all this stuff. Then
I really want to see it because I want to see just how tenuous the connection to Alien is.
But we already know there's not.
Because like
No.
no.
Okay.
That Ridley Scott did to get the movie made.
What were you going to say, Josh?
From what I understand, he started out with this being an Alien prequel or whatever, and then it morphed into Prometheus, which is not. He's been saying from the get-go, "Oh, there's no alien in this movie" and all that. But okay, since I saw that movie was coming out, I went back and I watched Alien like under a microscope, and there's no way that movie's not connected to Alien.
No, he's not saying it's not connected. He's saying that there will not be the alien xenomorphs in it because he said they're so played out. He goes, you can fucking go to Disneyland and see the xenomorphs. He said that everybody knows the xenomorphs. He said the only connection that is going to be in the film is going to be when the company arrives on the planet, and that's when the movie ends.
I don't know, man. I think that Ridley Scott had this sci-fi movie in mind. And he wanted to get it produced, and he wanted to get money for it, and nobody would give him the money. So then he was like, "Yeah, it's an Alien prequel." And then of course he got buckets of money, and I can see the producers just like watching the dailies as they came rolling in, going, "Well, when are we going to see the Alien connection? When are we going to see the Alien connection?" And Ridley Scott was just
shooting
like,
it all last.
Hold on,
we're going to shoot it
it's
last.
It's coming. You're going to see the connection.
We're doing it all in post.
Yeah. I think it's just one big scam that Ridley Scott pulled.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really think
world.
I don't really think Ridley Scott would have too much trouble getting cash.
I don't
or
know.
anything. I mean,
his movies do not do well at the box office.
Huh.
And most of his movies get critically panned, and then
but they become
years later, in hindsight, they become classics.
Yeah. No, what happens is Ridley Scott has a great idea, and then James Cameron comes and robs it and makes all the money.
Yeah.
But he's also talking about revisiting the Blade Runner world.
Yeah, which I think that would be great.
I would love to see that in 3D because he loves shooting in 3D. He's the anti-Cameron, but he supports 3D. So I can't hate on Cameron too much, man, because I loved Aliens. Yeah,
I thought that was
Aliens
cool
was great.
And you know what? If Cameron lived in that world, he did a really good job of it. I mean, come on, Aliens was so good. I can't get enough of Bill Paxton in that
Game
movie.
over, man.
And he did, and we talked about this last show. It was a very bold move to cast Ripley as the hero.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, the female protagonist. That's kind of a,
especially at the time
that was a very bold move. So I give Cameron a lot of he gets all the accolades for that.
But he became my hero.
I'm not.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm not busting on Cameron at all. I just thought it would be a funny joke.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
but he became my hero in his recent move he just did. Cameron.
Are you talking about the Mariana
dive?
Thing? I know again.
How awesome! And for those who don't know, he single-handedly with scientists created a sub to go to the deepest part of the ocean.
No, single-handedly. I heard he carved it all out of one piece of metal.
He did.
Well, single-handedly in that he paid for it.
Yeah. But
he now holds the world record.
But when I said single-handed, that he went alone.
Right. It was a one-man submersible.
Yeah.
diving vehicle, and he made it to the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
with 3D cameras.
You know,
but it
Hung
got
out there for a while.
he wasn't down there as long as he wanted to be because there was a hydraulic leak that made the window where you couldn't see, and he had to come surface.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was only down there 2 hours, and I think
And
he'd planned on 6.
Yeah, he
Wow.
planned on being down there much longer. But the fact that he took 3D, he created, well, back up, with Titanic, the documentary, not the movie, he created a sub with 3D cameras, created a rig so he could go down there
Right.
and film the documentary Ghost of the Abyss
Actually,
in
wasn't
3D.
the sub called Jason?
Was
The
it?
little yellow sub.
I
named
think so,
Jason, yeah.
maybe.
I thought they had 3 of them. They had all different.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and he did that, and now that he's doing this, and the fact that he's bringing in, creating 3D rigs and going places that scientists, that governments have always wanted to do, and he's doing it, and he's bringing back so much educational material that he's going to make a movie out of this,
You know-
and it's awesome.
The other day, I rented from Netflix 1 Million Years BC, the Raquel Welch.
Oh, yeah.
Really, just to watch it, and it was a Fox movie, so they had all these like a little in the bonus section Fox flicks and all these pictures, like with the trailers, and they showed The Abyss, which used to be on constantly, like every time. I loved that movie. I had no idea it was James Cameron.
Yeah.
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 Cameron.
He loves the
Seriously
underworld.
has an underwater fetish,
Yeah,
doesn't he? I
He
mean-
does, but also the thing that I really love about Cameron is that he has a very technical approach to filmmaking, and he wants to do things, and if the technology isn't there yet,
He'll just make it.
He just makes it.
Yeah.
He throws money at it, and he creates the technology. He creates the innovation to make the film.
Well, here's the question I have. James Cameron compared to George Lucas. Because Lucas did the same thing.
No, ILM did the same thing.
Well, yeah.
Okay, and I think the difference is that Lucas has fancied himself this master storyteller,
No.
and he just happened to throw money at the right guys for Industrial Light and Magic, and he benefited from it because in 1977 in Star Wars we were seeing things that had never been really done before.
Yeah.
But now, what has Industrial Light and Magic done for us lately? I don't think anything.
Well, they are part of every sound film that's out. I mean, even Bully the sound was done by
Okay, so
Skywalker.
Skywalker Ranch has a really good sound editing
Yeah.
equipment. But I don't. I mean, at one time maybe Lucas led.
Don't knock the
innovation.
sound editors, man.
At one time Lucas may have led innovation, but no longer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm not saying no longer. I'm just saying, but at the time of George Lucas, peak, when people were like, he's creating this shit so he can do something we've never seen, compare it to now with James Cameron.
Nah, I don't think so that. I don't think that at all. And also, I think that George Lucas, in 1977, he may have innovated some visual technology, whereas I think Cameron, he wants to innovate not just to tell visual stories, but to tell different stories, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get to the bottom of the ocean and see what's there, or I don't know. I think it's a subtle distinction, but an important one.
Yeah, because I don't think Lucas ever did that. Lucas just, I wanted to create fantasy worlds. Cameron wants to show the real world that we don't have the money, and governments and NASA and whatever else doesn't have the money to do.
Didn't he? I mean, like, not only did he make that sub, but didn't he make he made the 3D cameras that were in Avatar?
Well, yeah, did
Did he invent that Phantom 3D camera? Or was that a Cameron thing?
Yeah, Cameron made several 3D cameras. He created the 3D rig that was for Ghost of the Abyss. He created the rig that was for this dive he just did, and he created the rig that did Avatar. And now the same rig that he created for Avatar is being used for The Hobbit.
That's the rig I was thinking of.
Yeah.
So are we all going to go see the 3D Titanic tonight?
No,
No?
unfortunately, as much as I want to Laud Cameron, I'm just not going to go see Titanic in 3D.
And you know how I feel about 2D, 3D conversions.
Yeah, okay.
But you know what I've been told, though, and I meant to ask you about this to see if this was on your radar, was I had read somewhere that the 2D to 3D conversion for Titanic is... it was supposed to be revolutionary, and then he did something different, and it's supposed to look great.
Well, yeah, the people are saying that it does look great, but again, it's still... Anytime you take, unless it's CGI, anytime you take a 2D image that doesn't have the dual lens and try to convert it, it's just not going to have the depth and the roundness to it.
Well, apparently, again, Cameron has found a way around that.
Well,
That's what I'm told. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
I think eventually it'll happen. When digital cameras first came out, everybody said, film was better. There's no way that these pixels can replicate, with the quality and warmth that film has in the photography world. But now, there's no difference.
Wait. And that's true, Paul. They did say that, but if every 3D film that we go see that is shot in 3D, there are 2D elements that are converted just because they shoot some scenes in 2D and convert it later just because of cost or whatever. And for the average person, nobody's gonna ever fucking notice. Yeah. But people who like 3D can tell. I mean, even you said when you went to go see.
No, I'm not saying now. I'm saying eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this one has done it, but I'm saying eventually. What? I think the conversion will get to the point where you can't tell.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm just guessing.
Did they do Prometheus? Did they shoot that in 3D or is it a convert?
No, it's straight up 3D. Ridley Scott is a huge fan of 3D. I mean, this is his first 3D film he's done, and he's just been championing it the whole time. He just loves 3D. Like the quote that I read before when we first started talking about Prometheus.
I actually think that quote is a response to Cameron's Titanic 3D.
Why?
Because apparently Cameron has spent years working on the 3D for Titanic, and now it's not just that 2D 3D conversion. He's gone frame by frame, but he's created some kind of software, some kind of computer algorithm that extrapolates between the frames to add that curvature and that depth.
But no, he's not responding to that. He's responding to the critics and the directors who say that shooting it, that they want to shoot in 3D because it adds 10 to 12 weeks to production time, and that's what he's responding to. He said no. For the fact that he says, he even frames it by saying, he goes, anybody who says it's going to add 6 weeks, they don't know what they're doing. Is what he says. He's actually going after the directors and the critics who are saying that 3D is you have to add 6 weeks to your production and it's just too much to do it. And he's just saying that if you're saying that, you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Well, we'll see when Prometheus starts.
Oh, Prometheus!
Either way, like looking at the production stills from Prometheus and like visualizing like what that would be in 3D, like. I think that movie's going to be great as far as the 3D goes.
It's going to be badass.
I want it to be great.
And
I think it's going to be a great movie, period. But just some of the visuals they've gone through, just what they're showing you in the trailer for the movie, like when the big 3D thing comes up around the guy and the ship and whatnot, and he's touching stuff. Like, I think that's going to come across real well.
Well, yeah, because that's digital. Anything digital that they do CGI and 3D films is the most perfect 3D that you're going to get in a film.
Which reminds me, yesterday, although it wasn't in 3D, I watched on DVD the best 3D movie that we've ever seen together, which was Piranha.
Which was a 2D 3D conversion.
Yes. But the only one that you've given your blessing to.
Yes,
I believe.
that is
Yeah.
true, and I'm very excited about Piranha
Yeah.
3 Double D. Oh my god, this is gonna be
I have
awesome.
to say,
The other
that
day, Jan
Piranha-
was looking at it, and she said, "But they never made a second." And I was like, "Wait, hold
Yeah,
on."
they did.
Yeah,
We were talking
I have
about
to say-
Piranha 3 Double D, and you said, "Why 3? They didn't make a second." And we were talking about the title. Never
Yeah.
mind.
I do have to say,
It was
Piranha
what you
one of the-
said to me.
Piranha was one of the best times I had at the movies last year.
it totally was. We walked out of there just like, oh my god, we're just like,
Like we just got off a roller coaster. Like,
it
oh,
really was.
let's go get the picture of us on the loop. Yeah, that's exactly what it was like.
I mean, but just for me to geek out on Prometheus a little bit more, like I'm like what you touched on, Bob. Like I'm really fascinated to see those connections to the Alien movie. Like, not so much the aliens. Like, I really don't even care about that now. I like the fact that we're being told, you know,
They're xenomorphs. Excuse me.
whatever,
I'm just kidding.
nerd. But I like the fact that we're gonna find out what led up to Alien, becoming
Yeah.
a franchise or whatever.
I don't know if it'll really. I mean, maybe it will show what led up to it. I think it's just the Whale and Yutani Corporation is involved, and that's it.
You know, we've talked about you can
that's
live
just
in the same world and not necessarily be like a prequel, a sequel,
Yeah.
or a reimagining. It's cool to live in the same world.
Yeah.
I love that world. It's great.
Just like I haven't watched the show Breaking Bad, but that's the one with the teacher, right? That's making.
Yeah.
I
meth and
just
stuff.
I just finished every season, and it's a great freaking.
Is it?
show.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good. A guy at work, we always talk about The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, the blue meth. Right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
And that's what he was telling me. Maybe he told me. No, I think it was
me.
him too. That there's maybe it was you. Yeah, there's in there when they're going through Merle's old
Merle's bike. And
Bike,
find
the blue
stacks of
meth.
blue
Yeah,
meth.
yeah, just like
You'll-
how it's the same world.
You'll be interested to know that in Breaking Bad they make meth in a Winnebago. The Winnebago is the same one from The Walking Dead.
Like
I
the
mean,
same
it's
model
not
or
the one that they're
same
driving, or whatever, but
Winnebago?
it's the same one they used for Breaking Bad is the same one they used for Walking Dead.
Huh.
Wow,
That's interesting.
interesting.
Again,
And I'm so
cool
stoked for the
living
new
in
season
same
of Walking
world.
Dead. It's not even funny.
The other show we always talk about, or maybe I just talked about, An American Horror Story.
That was awesome.
It's coming back for a
I
second
know, it's
season
coming back for season 2.
with some of the same actors.
Yep, but they're gonna play different
Play
roles.
completely different roles.
Yeah.
And the opposite, it said, of what they played before.
Yeah, what I read
Like
about
Jessica
that was
Lange
they're
is back,
gonna-
at who was awesome.
They're gonna. It's all like the same actors are gonna be back, but they're gonna play different roles, and they're gonna tell another ghost story
Yeah.
over the course of a season,
Yeah.
which was
It's really
that was
interesting.
a good show. That
It
was
is
a
fantastic.
really good show.
But no, I keep going back to Prometheus because I haven't had anybody to talk to about it. With it.
Sorry,
It's
So
like
back-
another
No,
new
there are things from Alien that are in this movie. Like, without a doubt, I've seen it. I've double checked, and like, there's going to be very rock solid connections.
Yeah,
And
well, I
I'm
heard
really
that they're
freaking
gonna show
stoked
the
about it.
space jockey because you see that in the trailer.
which was never called the space jockey in the films.
Whatever, that's what we're calling it
Yeah.
now. And you said the corporation, the Whale and Yutani
Yeah,
Corporation.
right.
They own the Nostromo
Yeah.
from Alien, and they're in Prometheus.
They're all over Prometheus.
I think there
all
was-
their promotional stuff is about the corporation because they did a fake TED talk where he was talking about
Oh,
the
that's
future of it, and for promotional posters they've released the blueprints for their crafts and everything, and they have the company's website where you can become a member. And
Well, I mean that's cool, and again, that's living in the same world.
yeah,
There was there's an ambient guy that goes under the name, I want to say it's like Dead Weather Machine or something like that. Something odd. But he has an album out called Nostromo, and it goes through all the different levels of the ship. I just thought that was really
that's
cool.
cool. Yeah, awesome.
That's the movie I'm waiting for because Dark Knight comes out after that, of course. But I'm really stoked about that one too.
The director of that one is not a fan of 3D. He's a fan of shooting in IMAX film, but not 3D.
Mm.
Yeah.
Anybody go see the new Three Stooges movie?
No.
this weekend? No.
There's no way that I'm gonna go see
Yeah.
that. No way. It does not look good. But what
What
about?
if it was in 3D?
I don't care. That I mean, I have.
What
I
if
have.
it was shot in native 3D with?
Well, yes, I would go. But I do have a DVD of the original Three Stooges in 3D because they did 3D movies,
Right.
and I have that. But there's a movie that I want to talk about that has Ron Perlman and Danny Trejo in it, called Badass. Have y'all seen the trailer for this yet?
No.
I have.
What do you think about it?
It
I'll go
I mean,
see
it looks
anything with
humorous.
Danny Trejo in it.
What's that?
I said I'll go see anything with Danny Trejo in it.
And you saw the trailer, Josh?
Danny Trejo's in Breaking Bad, just for any information.
He was in there for a hot minute,
He was in a couple episodes, and he was
Yep.
pretty good in it too.
and he also shows up in a couple episodes of Sons of Anarchy with Ron Perlman.
See, that is the next TV show I'm going to start watching. So
It's very good.
What show?
Sons of Anarchy.
No.
Is it really good?
Yeah, we're watching season 2 now. It's
no,
pretty cool.
that Badass movie kind of looks like a Danny Trejo version of like what's that movie with The
Machete?
Rock where he just goes around and beats people up with a 2x4?
What, you say Machete?
Yeah,
or-
Walking Tall.
Oh, Walking Tall. Yeah.
Walking Tall, yeah.
I was getting that. I was kind of seeing it. Yeah, it did seem like a reimagining of Walking Tall.
And it's like it almost seems like a not as cheesy version of like Hobo with a Shotgun. You know,
Yeah.
just normal guy going around doing crap.
Well, the premise of the story is that he's a retired Vietnam vet. He was a hero at one time, but the world's forgotten about him. And it wasn't until he was on a city bus and these skinheads come in and were harassing this old lady, and he stood up and beat the shit out of the skinheads. He became a local hero. And so to boost his morale and to keep that image, he went around becoming a vigilante crime fighter.
That seems to be a really popular topic lately.
Yeah.
Vigilante
Kinda like-
crime fighters.
Yeah.
That's like
Kind of like Kick-Ass or Taxi Driver a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
We're starting to run short on time, so I want to kind of get to a couple other topics real quick. Dark Shadows,
Yeah.
the movie finally got a rating. It's going to be PG-13, and it's being PG-13 for comic horror, violence, sexual content, drug use, language, and smoking.
I think it looks mildly fun.
Yeah, and it looks.
But mildly fun. Nothing, you know.
But you know what?
didn't look-
You know what looks really good is Ted. Have y'all seen the
That
trailer
looks
for Ted?
hilarious.
No, I saw it on the site, but I haven't watched
The
it yet.
Red Band trailer on that is
It looks
hilarious.
funny, but I hope the whole movie isn't predicated on a walking, talking teddy bear saying the word "fuck" every 5
That's
minutes.
totally what it is. It's a teddy bear saying "fuck" and smoking a bong. That's
No,
it.
that Red Band trailer had me almost in tears laughing. That
Yeah,
shit was
the Red Band
funny.
trailer is damn funny. For those who don't know, it's Seth MacFarlane's I can't say it.
Directorial.
Directorial debut. And it has Marky Mark in it, his main character, and a teddy bear.
Yeah. Other people may know him as Mark Wahlberg.
Whatever.
He'll
Yeah.
always be Marky Mark.
He'll always be Marky Mark.
What he wants
So how do you
everybody
know
to
the
know
full-
him as Mark Wahlberg. Everybody else knows him as Marky Mark.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
Hey, he did it, so he can't really complain.
No,
Yeah,
that's
right.
that's his business.
And I love it. Say hi to your motherfucker.
But
Guy does a really good impersonation.
Yeah.
Hey, Rooster.
Hey, what's up?
See,
dude?
I really
Yeah.
like Mark Wahlberg's like serious drama stuff. Like I liked him in Boogie Nights. I liked him in like the Basketball Diaries and stuff like that. But like,
Basketball
I haven't
Diaries
seen
was
too many-
DiCaprio.
Yeah.
go ahead.
Basketball Diaries was DiCaprio.
But Wahlberg was in it.
Was he?
Yes, he was. He was his friend.
Holy shit! I totally forgot about him in Basketball Diaries.
Yep, he's totally in it.
Oh my gosh!
But like when
The
he
Departed.
tries to do
Both
like,
in that.
I haven't
Yeah.
really seen too many of his comedies. I don't think he's done very many. But like, there's certain times when I really just don't like Mark Wahlberg's acting. I mean, he does great when he's doing like the Boston cop or the Boston badass person or whatever. But like, that's the only thing that worries me about Ted is his acting gonna suck in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you like him in The Fighter?
I haven't seen that.
Oh man, check that out. And I tell you what, the best part about The Fighter is for the first 45, 50 minutes of the film, Marky Mark doesn't say a goddamn word.
He's
That's
just
worth
feeling the
watching just
vibration.
for that.
He's just quiet and on the sidelines, and Christian Bale does the rest.
That's funny.
It's really good.
That's kind of what I liked about him in The Departed. Like, he only talked when it was like important for him to talk.
Yeah. Yeah, The Fighter's probably his best movie.
Yeah.
And he does the least.
I'll definitely check it out. I've heard lots of people say it's good. I just haven't put any time into watching it. Is anybody going to go see the new Total Recall?
No.
Yeah, we talked about that. I don't know, man. I like Verhoeven's Total Recall so much.
You know, some of the 80s movies they've been remaking lately, I've been very hesitant. But, like, when I see them, I'm not as disappointed. Like, when I saw Fright Night, I thought it was decent.
The remake of Fright Night was awesome.
Yeah.
I did like the Fright Night remake.
I mean, like,
Maybe
even
better than the
comparing it to the original, like, the original is terrible. It's one of those great, terrible movies. But, like, I liked the new version of it.
The new version was good.
It owned its terribleness.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, Total Recall is another one of those that's just horribly great. I'm wondering if this is just going to...
I don't know. I'm really torn about this because...
I can't imagine the character getting in a fight or losing air and not going like...
They missed that golden opportunity where, like, Colin Farrell could have been like, "Get your ass to Mars."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Arnold is coming back for Twins 3.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah, who's the other guy that's supposed to be
Eddie
in it?
Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. Oh, Jesus Christ. I think
You
that
know-
is the swan song of Eddie Murphy's career.
No, Pluto Nash, man.
That was the swan song, just nobody knew it.
Yeah, there have been plenty of movies.
I actually had hope for Eddie Murphy from Tower
I-
Heist because I actually liked it, but
I kind of like the idea of this because Twins is so ridiculous and dumb.
yeah.
Now it might not be as amusing as the first one, but I think it's worth a shot. Why not? My money's not involved in it, so, you know.
Well,
But it will
you
be.
have Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's a terrible comedic actor. You have Danny
Yeah.
DeVito,
It's
who's a
not a
great
Kuma.
comedic actor, and then Eddie Murphy is just going to blow it out of proportion.
He's just going to dress up as a fat woman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eddie Murphy.
yeah.
That's all it- He's going to play like
But-
4 characters in the movie.
No, that's the shocker
Between
of the
him
whole
and
thing.
Tyler Perry, they should do a movie together.
That's going to be the shocker of the whole new Twins movie. Is it's going to have Eddie Murphy in it, but he's going to be in a white person suit the whole time.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's going to look just like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, man.
But no, there's a series coming out. I want to move on, but that I'm really,
Where's the
really.
brilliant segue?
This is it. I'm really worried about this upcoming series. It's now in development, and you remember when we were younger, we had Nightmare on Elm Street, the series. We had Friday the 13th, the series.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a matter of time, and it's happening.
Which all
'cause it's
sucked.
No,
You know,
Nightmare on Elm Street was
I thought Nightmare on Elm Street was scary as a kid.
No, that's-
of course I rewatched it and it's complete shit.
it's complete shit.
Friday
But
the
Friday the
13th
13th is
series,
good.
I never watched it. I had never seen it.
I love the Friday the 13th
It is fucking
series.
awesome.
Yeah, it is
It
good.
was great TV.
It
And
still
it was
is. I
Friday-
have.
Yeah,
The
it would
collection.
come on like Chiller, and Jan would be watching it when I would come home, and I'd see the last half
Yeah,
of it.
it's still
It's
good.
fun.
So,
It
but
was
so the new
Freddy's
series,
Nightmare,
the new
by the way.
series that is coming out is Hellraiser.
I can
And-
get behind that.
I can because the only thing that makes it exciting is the executive producer who did Hellraiser and Hellraiser 2, Hellbound Heart.
Mm-hmm.
He is the one behind this series, and New World is also, because they own the rights to it, and it's not going to, because we know Hellraiser as the Hellraiser as in the world of Pinhead.
Right.
The series is going
Doug
to take
Bradley.
Yeah, it's Doug Bradley, and the series is going to take you into not the Pinhead world, but the Hellraiser, the labyrinth, the everything of the realms of hell.
Well, that's cool.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be great if it done right. I just don't want it to be cheesy like Nightmare on Elm Street. The series
Yeah.
were.
Well,
Nightmare
I
on Elm
mean-
Street series sucked.
Yeah, but that was done a long time ago, though.
Yeah,
That doesn't mean that things improve as we,
that is true.
as we chug along. But hopefully, it will be better.
I remember the first time I saw Hellbound Hellraiser 2, I thought it was the most disgusting fucking movie I'd ever seen in my life.
That's
There
a good
was
signature
so
stamp.
much gore in that movie.
I've only seen 1 and 2.
That is
Yeah.
true.
It's the second one.
I know. I said I've only seen
okay.
1 and 2.
Oh. Well, never mind then.
No, but I'm excited. It's in production. There's no release date or anything
Yeah.
for it yet. But
It would be awesome if they got Doug Bradley.
They won't.
But they won't.
No, they
I
won't.
mean, since we do have Audible.com as our sponsor, speaking of Doug Bradley, I want to throw this in real quick. I want to recommend an Audible.com book that you can go to audibletrial.com/TTD, which is the Talking Dead, the abbreviation, and download the series. You can get one of the books for free just by going through our link and signing up
Are
for
you
a free
talking
30-day
about
trial.
the Doug Bradley spine? Was it spine?
The spine chillers.
I have the first one because
It's-
I got it actually from Audible.
Yeah,
It is fantastic.
it is awesome.
It is
'cause
really good.
he reads classic horror stories
Yeah.
by H.P. Lovecraft,
There's,
J.R. What can I?
M.R. James.
Yeah, thank you. That's why I was good. M.R. James.
Yeah, on this one he reads. I know he reads Charles Dickens.
William F. Harvey.
Yeah,
Poe.
he does Poe. He does The Telltale Heart, which is fantastic. I actually played it for Jan one day. I was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
He does a really amazing job on this.
Well, he has the most awesome voice, and the awesome thing is they have a series of 8 Audible books that he reads.
Yeah, he's really good at it.
Yeah, and it's called Doug Bradley Spine Chillers audiobooks.
Yeah.
And he reads all
And
these
they
stories.
actually add a little music here and there underneath.
It's almost
really
like a
low.
theatrical performance.
Yeah, it's really good.
And you can if you're a big Doug Bradley fan, I don't know who isn't. He was Pinhead. Go to audibletrial.com/TTD and download a free Doug Bradley's Bone Chillers. You will love it. I mean,
Spine Chillers.
Spine Chillers. Yeah, sorry. It's not just one story in these. There's like 4 or 5 different stories
It was
per
about, it's about
episode.
like 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, and you can get it for free because of us, and it will help by signing up for a free 30-day trial and downloading your free book. You will help us.
Yeah, they're well worth it.
They definitely are. It's good stuff. So, with that said, the Munsters is getting a reboot, and
What is it?
and the current title for the reboot is called Mockingbird Lane, and the first actor has been cast, and he's going to play Grandpa, and that's Eddie Izzard.
I love Eddie Izzard.
I do love Eddie Izzard, but I don't know about this. They are changing the whole. If you go to multiple sites, Variety has it on their site. Shock Till You Drop, I think it has. Comingsoon.net has an image of the concept of what Lily's going to look like and what Grandpa's going to look like. And it's not what we know, and they're not doing it in the sense.
Yeah,
of like,
I think we talked about this once before, and I'm curious to see. But I remember Bob brought something up that the whole gag of the Munsters was that they didn't know they were weird.
Yeah.
And that's gone on this, so it kind of changes the.
Well, it's just like the Dark Shadows Tim Burton movie that's coming out.
Right.
It's played for laughs. I don't remember there being a lot of laughs
Yeah.
in Dark Shadows.
See, that's what I
There
thought
wasn't
too when I
anything
saw the
in
new
Dark
trailer.
Shadows.
I was like,
It's
I don't
a
remember
lot of
this being
silence, and some
like comical.
staring,
That's
and
true.
a couple dramatic lines of dialogue. those are some boring damn shows.
I agree.
But this is coming from someone that seeks out the crappiest and the oldest or most classic, so I can be like, no, I have to watch Vampire, the French one, although that's really good.
But not
amazingly good.
Not as boring as that they are a sponsor of Zombie Popcorn, and you can click on their banner and get the whole seasons of Dark Shadows right now by going to zombiepopcorn.com.
Fantastic if you want to watch them back to back. But yeah, they're not nearly. I've tried and I've just never been able to get into them.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. I mean, the point is the show was never played for laughs.
Right.
There were no pratfalls. And,
right, but
and
that's how most of
Shadows.
That's how most of all the remakes of shows are done now. The Starsky and Hutch, the
Charlie's Angels, Dukes of Hazzard,
21
Time
Jump
Warp,
Street,
Hot Tub Time Machine.
You're absolutely right. When there's
it's like some sort of hot tub time machine.
It's gonna be like. We're going to do it for laughs. It's going to be funny.
Yeah.
It's like a comedy. It's Starsky and Hutch, only funny.
As long as they never touch Simon and Simon, I will be happy.
That's next.
No.
Well, it's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is now Ninja Turtles.
They're aliens now.
Yeah.
All right.
Stupid.
All right.
Wait, Bob's going off now.
Interject, because I actually read a couple things about this.
Okay.
And they're not aliens. The ooze that makes them into the mutants that they are is alien.
Okay.
The turtles themselves are actually turtles from Earth, and then the ooze that gets them that makes them into the mutants is alien in nature. Now, let's set the Wayback Machine to like when Eastman and Laird were producing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics out of their basement, whatever fucking house they were living in.
He's married to Julie Strain.
Julie Strain, I know. How's that for nerds winning?
Anyway.
I bet that guy was bullied in high school, and now he's like hooking up with Julie Strain on a regular basis, like giving himself high fives.
That's because he was probably nice to her in school.
I know, right? He was nice to her on the school.
I like this full circle.
Don't worry, Bob. We all have guilt over something.
So one of the things that was cool about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics was it was a spoof on other Marvel Comics and DC Comics properties. And so, like in the very first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics, the truck rides by, the canister of the radioactive ooze falls out, it bounces, it hits somebody in the face, meaning like Daredevil. Yeah. So it shows the Daredevil origin story, but rather than follow the guy that it gets hit in the face with it, they follow the canister as it goes into the sewer. So they tell a story based on the Daredevil origin.
Yeah.
And then like the little mousers, they're like versions of Ultron, and instead of the hand ninja, they're the foot, and the building that the Fantastic Four live in, it's not the Baxter building, it's like the Retzab building spelled backwards. So the whole point of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it was a spoof on the comic universe.
Yeah.
I just got educated, dude. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, well,
welcome to the Talking Dead.
But it was when the property got bought. That was when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles appeared in, cartoons and television shows where they eat pizza and say cowabunga and do all that stuff. The comics were actually very dark, and it was a satire on comics themselves.
Yeah. So kind of like what Cabin in the Woods is doing to the horror movie.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, we'll see. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Michael Bay directing a Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, but whatever. It could be okay.
I don't know.
Everybody likes to bitch about Michael Bay, but I've been fairly happy with the majority of the work he's done on like remakes and stuff.
Well, I think you're really happy because you're the films that he's remade. You haven't had some kind of youth attachment to it.
Why? Which ones has he done?
He's done Transformers. He's done.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Well, no, like like everybody kind of bitches about the horror remakes he does, but like I thought the remakes of Texas Chainsaw were really good. I thought.
Bay didn't.
But he didn't direct those though.
Well, he didn't direct them yet, but it's all his company or whatever.
Yeah, but there's a difference between him directing and him financing. It's like when he's directing, you get Transformers, you get big explosions and just over the top nonsense, which is good, which works for Transformers.
Okay, so I think the first Transformer movie was downright brilliant because Michael Bay was like, "Look, it's giant robots fighting each other." You don't really.
Yeah,
need
we talked
more
about
than
it.
that. But then like the second Transformer movie, I've heard it described and I kind of see it that way, where it's like something blows up and then Michael Bay just throws a camera in the air and films it.
I thought the second Transformers had way too much comedic satire, man.
Well, what happened with the second one is that we talked about this on the show. Is like it
was just too much going on.
No, there was what was already filmed was the battle, so was already created, and they built a story around.
That's another thing too, where Transformers 2 was sort of filmed during the writer's strike, and so Bay had to film action sequences, and then writers were tasked with writing a script around the action sequences that had already been produced.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense, I guess.
I mean, there's just a lot of going against part 2.
Yeah. So 2 sucked, but I'll tell you, I kind of dig the third Transformer movie, in that it seemed to have that flash of brilliance that we talked about with James Cameron, in that Bay wanted to do innovative things, you know.
And he got the kite people.
Yeah, he had those guys in the flying suits with 3D cameras strapped to their heads, you know, free falling through buildings in Chicago. I mean, how fucking cool is that?
And it worked. It worked. Yeah. It was a great 3D film. I enjoyed it.
That's apparently supposed to be one of the big scenes in the new Dark Knight film. Is it's supposed to be this big aerial thing? Like, I think they actually were showing like the first 10 minutes of the film at some point on the internet, and you saw bits and pieces of that. And apparently, it's supposed to be mind blowing.
It's not in 3D, so I don't care.
I mean, awesome, good. but I, you know, with regards to Transformer, I think that's sort of Bay leading the way technologically. I mean, he's sort of innovating the technology that makes the movie go forward. And I, you know, Transformers 3: Dark of the Moon, not a perfect movie, but I liked it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot.
And that's coming a long way from the fact that I hated the second movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess...
God, I hated the second movie.
It is pretty abysmal.
Yeah.
And they had Transformer balls. Come on, man. They had a ball joke.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. Yeah. But anyway, speaking of balls, Johnny 5 is getting a remake. They're doing a Short Circuit remake.
Yeah, is it going to have robot balls?
It probably is, but because they're not
I'm part mammal. Yeah.
Because the director of the Short Circuit remake is Tim Hill. He did Alvin and the Chipmunks. And
well, there's a pedigree.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
Well, actually, let's go back to Transformers for a second while we're on the testicles.
He piqued his interest.
Yeah, no. So
Let's talk about ball sacks.
I don't know if it was the third one or the second one, but there's like the old Transformer with the beard. He's like has a Scottish accent.
That's Leonard Nimoy.
Is that who that was?
Yeah.
No.
That's the third one.
That was
Yeah.
That was Optimus.
Yeah. Why?
That was Leonard Nimoy.
Why does he have a fucking beard? He's a robot. They come from a planet where... Yeah, no, I'm talking to you because you're the guy that's supposed to know all this. This is bothers me so much. They come from a planet where facial hair does not exist, and yet this robot exhibits these
if robot facial hair is
hairy
is
mammal traits.
If robot facial hair is weirding you out, imagine the robot sex that goes on.
No, I've thought about robot sex plenty. That doesn't bother me at all. I have schematics, pie charts, you name it. Robot facial hair freaks me out.
Yeah. But okay.
My robots don't have pubes, so I'm just saying.
They're all shaven and clean. Anyway, speaking of robots.
Cold, clean metal.
Johnny 5 is coming back in a Short Circuit remake. And as I previously mentioned...
Kissable.
Tim Hill is the director. Is going to be the director, and he said that he's tempted to go back to the original, but he thinks he wants to be closer to what the modern design actually is. He's like, today, computer models are used, in labs like real machines, and they're more fierce because like drones and militaries and robots used in
what they should do? They should just get that Asimo robot, the little dancing one from Honda or Toyota that plays the trombone. That's really fierce.
So he said he wants to do something that's more relevant when it comes to living in the age of robots. And
don't remake Short Circuit.
He says that we have drones that do our fightings, and all these men and women that don't want to do. So he says he wants to do Johnny Five in a more of a dark, more of aggressive.
Why don't we just make it a different movie or story?
As long as they get Steve Guttenberg and Ali Sheedy, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not going to be in it. They've already said that.
Oh well.
So or the Indian guy from the second one.
Well, what do you think of the sequel? Doing a sequel, or not doing a sequel, but doing a remake of?
I think it's a stupid, dumb idea.
Yeah, I do too.
Because really the first ones were so great, they needed to do other ones. Like I liked them; those were the ones I saw as a kid that hold a place in my heart. But like, really, how great of a movie was it?
Yeah, exactly. But well, that being said, there's something to be, I guess it's better to remake a crap movie and try to make something good out of it than to take a really good movie and fuck it up.
You hit the nail on the head.
No, we make too many excuses for them not to be an original, for Hollywood not. No,
yeah. Well, you're right.
I mean, they need to fucking bite.
I tell you what, though, I will change my mind if the robot looks really cool,
like RoboCop.
Yeah, they should actually. You know what? It should be RoboCop.
Johnny Five,
just splice RoboCop and Short Circuit together.
Well, they're already doing the remake of RoboCop,
right? So. But it should be the original RoboCop
as Johnny Five.
And what I would like for them to do is have the movie, but just digitally remove Johnny Five, the original, and place a RoboCop in it, and add some extra digital stuff, and maybe change the dialogue,
and do a 2D 3D conversion.
Yeah, that would be great.
That's a great idea.
Cameron should work on this technology. So
get on it, Cameron.
I think they plan for a Short Circuit remake is taking everything that worked about the first movie and just chucking it and doing something different.
That it was a cute, lovable robot.
Well, but all right, so the robot in Short Circuit, it was all practical effects, right? There was an animatronic robot, and the whole thing was he was actually right. The whole thing with Johnny Five is he was actually a war drone, like they were saying, but they gave it like almost human features, and it made it emotive, and that's why you cared about it.
That's why it was better than that stupid ass. Robot movie, I forget what iRobot.
Yeah,
that movie sucked.
No, well,
dude, I love that movie.
It was an affront to sci-fi fans everywhere.
Really, I love that movie, and I'm an Asimov fan.
Sucked.
It's the only movie I like. What's his name? The actor in Will Smith.
No, that's not the movie. That's not the movie. That's not the movie I'm talking about. I was talking about the one where the robot ended up going to the bottom of the ocean and just sitting there because the kid.
Artificial intelligence.
AI, man.
That's another.
That's a horrible fucking
I want to like that movie so much, but
I did too. I wanted to love that movie, but when I went in and saw it, I was like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
See, Rob Zombie did the same thing with Halloween. Took everything that was great about the original and just ruined it.
Ruined it. How could you like iRobot as an Asimov fan?
I mean, I understand that it's a movie and it's never going to match.
How could you make a robot movie that's like iRobot, and then you have the 3 laws of robotics, but then you do not. There was never a character called Daniil Olivaw, and there was never a character called Giscard. How could you do that?
I don't know.
that like.
I've only read his short stories. If that makes you.
Oh well, then there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the design of the robots so much. I will let everything slide.
See, the whole point of the Caves of Steel was that Daniil Olivaw was imperceptibly the same as a
All right,
human
I'm not. Apparently, I'm not that big of a fan. So yeah, I haven't. I've
and then the whole point of like Giscard being telepathic and the zeroth law, like never all of those great high concepts that were in the Asimov robot books was ever even thought of in Stupid iRobot.
Dude, what podcast am I on now?
oh, it's changed.
Just a
I'm
little.
just asking the questions, man. You brought it up.
Start talking about like physics.
Well, let me.
and
I
stuff,
take that back.
man.
I
I'm like,
recant
whoa.
my Asimov statement. To I am a casual follower of his short stories.
Okay. We're
Matter
leaving.
of fact, after that movie came out, I wrote an entire song using only the Mac talk of robot voices.
Okay, cool. Great. I mean,
I'm
you
just
know,
saying, I like the movie.
If it would have been just the robot movie itself, right? You could have had just the standalone robot movie, but instead they traded on Asimov's name and the idea of iRobot.
Well, they always do that. Look how many Bram Stoker stories are out there.
That's true.
All right, moving away from robots. We're going to talk about a movie they're doing a sequel to that I was not a fan of the original. That's Sin City. They're doing a sequel to Sin City called
Awesome.
A Dame to Kill For.
I hope that they don't let Frank Miller direct.
They're doing it. It's Robert Rodriguez and Frank Miller are returning to do the sequel.
Okay, cool. Let Robert Rodriguez handle the reins. And
Yeah,
then
Sin City was all right.
I know it was. It was very cool, and it was very true to the comic.
I don't think I like it as much as everyone, who raves about it, but it was all right.
I liked it a lot. I like Sin City a lot. I like Frank Miller a lot. I really like what Robert Rodriguez did, and I like the
Was it as good as the
vision
spirit?
of the what?
I'm kidding.
See, because that's where I was going with it. Because after Sin City,
I've
Frank
never
Miller
even
was
seen
like,
that.
Oh, I can direct now,
Yeah.
and so then Frank Miller directed The Spirit, which was god awful.
Yeah, neither of those were as good as Sky Captain and The World of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're leaving
Actually,
out the
I
greatest
started
movie ever,
watching that
dude.
movie and I took it out after 15 minutes. I was just like, I don't give a shit who lives or dies in this.
Nothing's as good as Starship Troopers, man.
Starship Troopers.
Again, Paul Verhoeven.
Yeah. But you know what? We've reached that time.
Thank God.
We're past
It's
that
hot.
time. What are you
We're-
talking about?
We are past the time. So let me wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us.
Oh, you need to read
I hope,
that one.
I hope we didn't piss you off too much.
I think I will. It's
Bob-
because I always go in the.
Bob and
sorry.
Paul are going to fight a little bit after we
No, we're
finish
not
this
fighting.
show.
We're talking
I'm just
about
kidding.
Asimov.
It's all right. Please go to audibletrial.com/TTD and sign up for your free 30-day trial and get your free audiobook. It helps us out a lot. We're in the process of expanding, and this just helps. It's good to have you back, Josh. Thanks for spending the evening with us. Hope you come back more.
Thanks for having me. I'm actually, I will make it a habit to try and stop in more often.
That would be good.
Yeah, hey, it was cool talking with you, Josh.
You too, Bob.
It was good. And I want to thank everybody for
Paul,
listening.
you suck.
I know. I know. Whatever.
I can
I've
say
given
that
your
'cause- I can say
MySpace
that 'cause
page
I know
with your
you.
music thumbs down many a times.
Wait, they're going to fight.
Sure.
No.
Everybody's fighting. So
I'm going to punch you through the microphone, man.
you're just lucky you're in Florida. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with us. Everybody have a great night. See you next time.
Have a good night.
Later.
Peace.